Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. We are about to be in for a really great video, man. The worst NBA predictions of all time. So this is a video by Jimmy High Roller. And oh my, it's already off to a good start, man. Really a chance Durant would join the Warriors. It's a long video, guys, so I don't want to keep you guys here too long with an intro. Let's go ahead and get started on this, man.
This is a story that I just don't buy.
Okay.
Durant to the Warriors. I think there's zero chance it happens.
Oh, zero!
You're not going to get a 45-point night from him. Those days are over. He's a human being.
So I ask you, is Clay a better wing shooter than you were in your prime?
But you're asking Paul.
I'm gonna say no.
Oh my God, Paul!
What are you?
Whoa. So is this over?
No, listen. I think it's over.
This series is over.
Yeah, they
One
lost.
game? You just sat there and said that they could win an NBA championship.
That's the lie right there.
I think there's
Not the
four
truth.
reasons why the Warriors won't win. Okay, draft over. Portland's taking Greg Oden. It's over. There's no other argument. Any talk show host, any emailer, any caller that goes on and says Durant should be number one isn't doing their homework or is just trying to incite calls and be controversial. Greg Oden is the number one pick. It's all over.
Can LeBron ever pass Jordan? Of course he can. To me, the question is will and when. And the answer is in about 4 months when this Cavs team wins another title.
Okay, then that was a pretty bad one, but I will say, though, like, Jordan and LeBron, I mean, I still think to some people that's an argument, but that right there, that was too soon, yeah. The clip from the draft, Doug, he doesn't have the upside of Rubio, Jennings, Flynn, Mills, Teague. That's absolutely horrendous, man. Oh, my God. I'm wondering how this is going to be a 23-minute video. That's my big question here. Is it just going to be that?
What's up,
Oh,
everybody?
here we
It's
go, here we
Jimmy. And in the world of basketball analysts and basketball media as a whole, part of the job is making predictions. How good will a player be? How bad will a team be? What direction is the league heading in a few years? Just another way of breaking down the game and sharing a new or interesting take. But often, and sometimes far too often, some basketball journalists, analysts, and broadcasters.
I got into some beef with Colin Cowherd on Twitter, guys, because he was talking about we were talking about like an Anthony Davis trade or something like that, and he like went back and forth. I went back and forth with him for a little bit, like an hour or so. I don't know, man. Colin, I like his talk show host, but I like his show and stuff, but I don't know, man.
Make some predictions that are so out of pocket, so absurd, that you wonder if they're just handed a hot take on a
Lee
script,
Scola was
knowing
nice.
damn well it's wrong, but they want to keep their job, so they go live on television saying some wild shit anyways. Now, of course, we're all guilty of making outlandish claims and bold predictions that never panned out. We all have our own bias that can stray us away from facts and reality from time to time.
Fair. We all
But
do.
today, we're going to take a dive into some predictions made by men who do this for a living. Men on national television. Predictions that couldn't have been more wrong. Now, this whole video was sparked by a recent prediction made by a man that has basically gone off the rails in the past few months.
That's the lie.
A man that at one point in time was torching the NBA, but is now getting clowned on by 12-year-olds on Twitter. And that is none other than Paul, I was better than Dwayne Wade Pierce. First, I have the utmost respect for Pierce. Dude was a bad man for years in the NBA. He was loyal to the soil for 15 seasons and brought us some of the best memories of 2000s basketball. But, with that being said, this man done lost his damn mind post-retirement. After a string of dodgy statements that had the basketball community in uproar, Paul Pierce went out of his way to predict that the series between the Celtics and the Bucks was over.
He's been
after
wrong
the
every single
Celtics
time.
won just the first game in the series.
I don't know where Milwaukee goes from here. Because
Whoa. So is this over?
No, listen. I think it's over.
This series is over.
Yeah, they
One
lost.
game? You just sat there and said that they could win an NBA championship.
Yeah, I did say that.
I love
but-
Chauncey.
Now, I know that
I love
Pierce
Chauncey.
has a bias towards Boston. That was his team. I know the Celtics won by 22 points. But this is the last thing Pierce needed on his plate at the moment. You got a team that finished with the best record in the NBA, with presumably this year's league MVP leading them, and after just one game,
Write 'em
you
off.
claim the series is over. to make matters worse, because Paul Pierce loves to make matters worse, after having some time to go home and think about what he said, this man returned the next day and doubled down on his statement saying that the Bucks had no chance against the Celtics.
Oh my God,
Since making
man.
this prediction, the Celtics have lost 4 straight games against the Bucks, 3 of those losses coming by double digits. Giannis just keeps getting better and better, and the Celtics watch their star walk off the court in the final moments of Game 4. Now, Pierce, I love you, dog, but I'm gonna need you to hold this for me. But at least Pierce played the game and can speak from experience. On the other end of the spectrum, you have a guy like Colin Cowherd, who is super entertaining to listen to, but only because his analogies are second to none.
Melo is that bad relationship partner, leaves the toilet seat up, doesn't help with laundry, dishes always in the sink.
And because his predictions are just so
He always
off the
says
wall.
crazy stuff
Like in
like that.
2007 when he had this to say about Greg Oden and Kevin Durant.
He is quicker than Durant in the lane agility drill and has better numbers in the running and standing vertical jumps. In
He
the
could have been a
standing
beast.
vertical jump. A
He still could have been a
7-foot
beast.
center. Okay, draft over. Portland's taking Greg Oden. It's over. There's no other argument. Any talk show host, any emailer, any caller that goes
We gotta be honest though, when it comes to Greg Oden though, like, he could have been really good. Like, he would not have fit in today's NBA. Don't get me wrong there. I mean, no, he would not have been Kevin Durant. Like, that was not happening. But I mean, it was injuries that really did derail him. I still think he could have been really good. So
on and says Durant should be number one, in doing their homework or is just trying to incite calls and be controversial. Greg Oden is the number one pick. It's all over. Couldn't bench a $185.
Who cares?
Well, does it matter? Yes, it does.
no, it doesn't.
It's a physical league. It's a long, long 8-month season. But you're telling me I can draft just another wing guy? Just another guy who, you know, he's got Antonio McDyess written all over him. He'd be a good player,
McDyess
but
is
just
a
another
beast.
wing guy. Danica Patrick can bench press a $185.
Now, I will say, hindsight is always 20/20. And at the time, Greg Oden was seen by a lot of experts to be the number one pick in the draft. But how are you going to call a 6'10", lengthy, shot-creating wing that averaged 26, 11, 2, and 2 a game as a freshman in college just another wing? Durant had superstar written all over him from day one.
That's true,
In
but it
fact,
was more of
years
a
later,
big
Durant
guy
had
league
some choice
back
words for
then.
Cowherd and his harsh prediction. I knew nobody in the draft could guard me. I knew that. And I knew that you didn't have to bench press to lift a basketball up. I
Good
was
point.
ranked the last person in the camp drill-wise. I was the worst player. That tells you a lot about the significance of that stuff.
That's true,
But
that's
this
facts.
wasn't the last time that Cowherd made a bold and strikingly inaccurate prediction about KD. In 2016, Cowherd said that there was a 0% chance of Durant
we were all hoping there was a 0% chance though.
going to the Warriors, and on the off chance that he did go, it would be a bad move.
This is a story that I just don't buy. Durant to the Warriors. I think there's 0 chance it happens. And I don't think it's a good move. I think there's 0 chance it happens.
Just 6 days later, Kevin Durant joined the Warriors.
Yep.
But the madness doesn't end there. Just a few months after his initial prediction, Cowherd went on to say that this new Warriors squad had no chance of winning a championship.
Oh my God, he really
I
said
think there's
that?
4 reasons why the Warriors won't win.
Let's hear 'em.
Number 1 is chemistry. Number 2, where's the beef? Number 3, LeBron's a nightmare matchup, especially because they have no rim protector. And the 4th reason, all the pressure in the world is on Golden State. There has never been an NBA lineup this overwhelmingly favored that doesn't, in its current form, have a championship.
But, of course, the Warriors went on to
They
win
won it.
back-to-back
They got
championships
it.
over the next 18 months. And although Cowherd does have some takes that make you want to call your internet provider and shut off your service just to avoid hearing him ramble for even another second, at least he's entertaining.
He's on the radio?
He's creative.
Or is it just
Someone who
internet stuff?
is neither of these things and has even more atrocious takes and
skip,
predictions
skip.
is Skip Bayless.
Yep.
The man that has made a career off of hating on other men. And just like Cowherd, Skip has made some bold predictions over his career. Like, oh my God.
Here we go.
When he claimed that a 52-year-old Michael Jordan could beat a prime LeBron James one-on-one.
He did not say that. There was no way.
Can he right now, at 52 years old,
Right here, right now.
beat LeBron one-on-one? I mean, and beyond. Come on.
You know, Stephen A.
Oh
Smith.
gosh, don't don't do this.
No. He just might.
Don't do
He just might be able to.
Yup, this man, unapologetically,
Damn
actually
shame.
said this nonsense on live television. Not necessarily a prediction, but he was asked a hypothetical question, to which he gave a piss-poor hypothetical prediction. Also,
That's what Stephen
by
A.
the
Smith
way,
decided to leave.
wait, what is this? What is this? 34% of NBA fans polled believe that Michael Jordan could beat LeBron James in one-on-one in 2015.
Maybe they were thinking that Michael Jordan in his prime. Maybe they didn't specify in the poll.
Really?
Boy, if you don't get.
Another failed Skip Bayless attempt at foreshadowing the foreseeable future was back in 2012 when he said that Kobe Bryant was overpaid and that Tim Tebow was a bigger draw in the world of sports.
He loved Tim Tebow.
I'm standing up for this. Talk about Hollywood.
Tell me,
Tim
are you
Tebow's
going to tell
Hollywood.
me that Tim Tebow deserves to be
Tebow's a bigger
mentioned
draw
in the
than
same
Kobe
battle
Bryant is
than
right
Kobe
now.
Bryant?
He's a bigger draw than Kobe
He's a
Bryant.
bigger.
Yeah.
Go to break.
Since that statement, Kobe Bryant went on to average 28 points that season, received 5 more All-Star selections, and was selected first-team
You
All-NBA
need
2 more
championships?
times. Tim Tebow took his last NFL snap that season. But when it comes to overstatements, hyperboles, and astonishingly inaccurate predictions, nothing tops the classic duo of Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. I mean, really. Was there anything better than watching these two men holler
I
at
miss
each
it so
other
much.
for hours on end, getting absolutely nowhere, saying anything and everything that pops into their heads
I miss
while
it so much.
simultaneously not saying anything at all?
You must be crazy.
I'm not. Watch what happens.
You're going to be disrespectful
Watch
to Rudy
what
Gay now.
happens to
You're gonna be
Rudy and Zach
disrespectful.
Randolph.
You're gonna
Watch
be
what happens.
You're going to be disrespectful.
Those were the good times. Loud, obnoxious, but good times.
Now Max Kellerman's
like in
just stupid.
2011 when Skip and Stephen A. made a list of the top 5 players in the NBA,
Oh, boy.
and
Oh,
neither
boy.
of their lists included LeBron James. Now, let me be a bit more clear. In 2011, the prime of LeBron's career, Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith each made a list of the top 5 current
Oh
NBA
my God!
players, and neither of them had
Where-
LeBron on their list.
Where's Stephen A's list?
Carmelo Anthony is not the 12th ranked player in the world. He does have the clutch gene.
Dwayne Wade and Dirk Nowitzki at number 4.
Oh
Dwayne
my
Wade
God,
at number
man.
1, Dirk Nowitzki at number 4. You and I agree. All right?
After these top 5
That's
lists
horrible.
were released, LeBron went on to win regular season MVP, an NBA title, and Finals MVP.
So they were calling Wade a better player when LeBron was on the Heat. What? Like, Wade was good, but he was like still. Oh, wow.
The very next season.
I'm gonna throw
he
up, bro.
also went on to win another regular season MVP,
That's
an
horrendous.
NBA title, and another Finals MVP in the following season. Speaking of LeBron, not everyone thought highly of him early on. In fact, there's this old clip floating around YouTube of
Darius
a
Miles,
sad
I believe
and
it was.
desperate Cleveland Cavaliers team being interviewed by a local news station.
I think Darius
and
Miles
in
talking
these
trash.
brief interviews, players on the Cavs were asked what they thought about a high school LeBron James. Some of them had encouraging words for the kid. Others,
Now, Ricky Davis,
not
yeah.
so much.
I don't think you can really just bring a high school
Gibbo.
player
Okay,
in
my bad.
and really just think your team gonna really turn around like that.
Please believe, man.
If he come, you know what I'm saying, he can just hop on our bandwagon and hopefully we can do something big.
We have better players than him in his position already on our team, though. His potential is probably, the sky's the limit for him, though.
Darius
Carlos
Miles,
freaking
a young
loser, man.
talent, but also a player that never even averaged double-digit scoring, and Carlos Boozer, the 4th best player on a 17-win team, basically wrote off LeBron before he even got to the league.
I
Fortunately,
want to say that
LeBron
they said that he has the potential, just he has to earn it, which you kind of have to respect a little bit.
was everything he was hyped up to be. Won Rookie of the Year the very next season and was by far the best player on this same Cavaliers team just 1 year after these interviews. Unfortunately for Miles and Boozer, LeBron was everything he was hyped up to be. Darius Miles was traded just 37 games into LeBron's rookie season. Carlos
Good choice.
Boozer was traded the following season. The Cavs became LeBron's team, and the rest is history. And to be fair, their predictions on LeBron weren't too far-fetched. Remember, just one season prior to LeBron's intro to the NBA, DeJuan Wagner was another high school hooper who was gassed up and drafted by Cleveland, but didn't quite have the impact people were expecting. But these predictions were made late into LeBron's high school career, and if you didn't know by then that he was going to be a superstar,
the chosen one,
you
man.
deserve to get old news clips of you dug up and examined. Two guys throwing shade at a high school kid saying that he wouldn't have a huge impact on their team were both within.
It's no different than Zion Williamson, though. I mean, we all say, you know, and I shouldn't say we all say. We got people that do say that Zion's going to be a great player. You got other people say he's going to be a bust. So, you know, people are going to get exposed for that too in 10, 20 years.
A year, not even on that team anymore, due to that high school kid's impact.
Life is crazy.
And those predictions were
Big Z. I love Big Z, man.
Another prediction that was made years later.
Gauskas.
Dan Gilbert, owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers, made an awfully bold prediction, or should I say promise, to fans of the team and against LeBron James as well. In 2010, Dan Gilbert released a letter to the public in regards to LeBron's departure from the organization, saying that the self-declared former king will be taking the curse with him down to South Beach. And until he does right by Cleveland and Ohio, James will unfortunately own this dreaded spell and bad karma.
Don't know about that one.
He then goes on to say that he promises a long overdue championship. But as we all know, Dan Gilbert was as wrong as he could possibly have been. Since LeBron went to Miami, won 2 rings, came back to Cleveland and won a ring there as well. Not only was Dan wrong about LeBron finding success with the Heat, he then had to swallow his pride and watch the man win his organization a championship. Pathetic. Now, although being a former player in the league does give some analysts first-hand experience to speak from, this doesn't always result in the most educated guesses, as we recently learned. Like in 2015, when Charles Barkley predicted that the Grizzlies, the Blazers, and the Mavericks would end the season as the best teams in the West, although it was the Warriors who had by far the best record in the league and were en route to a 67-win season.
I mean, those other teams are still
He
good,
then went
though.
on to say that jump shooting teams could not win championships, and the recipe the Warriors had created.
See, that's old school talk, though. That's old school talk. I mean, that's the guy that, you know, that beats it up in the paint and stuff like that, bro.
Was not one for success.
You're passing towards the best team. Yeah, the best team in the West, the same way you did it in the East. I think that I won't pick 3 teams.
Uh-oh.
That's not exactly the best 3 teams. Because, like, it's a fluid situation. I think Memphis getting Jeff Green, the Portland Trail Blazers, and the Dallas Mavericks. I think those are the 3 best teams in the Western Conference.
Rockets and Clippers on the come up, though.
No Warriors. Memphis Grizzlies. No Warriors. No Warriors. No Warriors, no Spurs.
Wait, how can you dismiss a team that has the best record in both conferences, is number 1 shooting the ball, is number 1 in field goal percentage against?
I have said the exact same thing for 16 years here. I don't like jump shooting teams. I don't think you can.
And here we are.
The championship beating good teams shoot jumpers.
Since these bold predictions, the Warriors went on to win 3 titles in 4 seasons and have been the most winningest team in NBA history. But at least Charles played in the league, was a beast, and earned the respect of those tuning in, even if he can be a bit off at times. You have earned the right to be off on your predictions when you have played 16 seasons in the NBA, earned 11 All-Star appearances, and 1 league MVP. Something that this man has never done. Which is fine. Not all of us can be freak athletes at the pinnacle of the world of sports, but we all have sports opinions and predictions we'd like to share with those willing to listen. But in December of 2016, Nick made this bold prediction.
Can LeBron ever pass Jordan? Of course he can. To me, the question is will and when.
Okay.
And the answer is in about 4 months when this Cavs team...
Will or when? That kind of contradicts, because you say, like, will he, like, yes or no, but then when will he? So that's saying he's going to. So, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Team wins another title.
Yeah.
5. Kevin Durant way outside. Delivers! Kevin Durant from downtown. The
It's a 6-point game.
Shot was dirty,
and
man.
what would a bad prediction video be without a few terrible draft scouting reports?
There we go.
Like in 2009 when this man said that Stephen Curry didn't have the upside of Ricky Rubio.
He was too small, that's
or
what they all
when
said.
Jonathan Giovanni of Draft Express said that Russell Westbrook wasn't worthy of a starting position in the NBA and gave the Seattle Supersonics a C grade for drafting Westbrook with the 4th pick and Serge Ibaka with the 24th pick. Predicting the success and growth of a player before he even enters the NBA is not easy. But this prediction wasn't even in the right zip code. Another scouting report that was just as piss poor was by Paul Banks of the Washington Post in 2009 when he said that Johnny Flynn was the safest top prospect of all guards.
In all fairness, I believe Flynn did have injury issues. Like, wasn't he like an okay player like when he first came into the league?
In his draft class. Johnny Flynn. Johnny Flynn.
He wasn't bad.
This
like,
is the same draft class that featured guards like Patrick Beverley, Drew Holiday, Jeff Teague, DeMar DeRozan, oh, and James Harden and Stephen Curry. But no,
when you put it that way,
to Paul Banks, it was Johnny Flynn who was the most impressive guard in the draft. But no matter how many bad predictions we must suffer through, no matter how much an analyst misses their mark, nothing tops the streak of wrong predictions Stephen A. Smith had when he incorrectly guessed the winner of the NBA championship for 6 straight seasons. 1, 2,
How do you
3,
do
4,
that?
5, 6. This man
How do
had
you do
a
that?
50-50 chance of predicting the correct outcome of 6 straight finals, most of which had a clear favorite, and time again guessed incorrectly.
That's crazy. I want you to go take a coin right now, guys. Flip it and call it in the air. That's how many times he was wrong. He did it 6 times, man.
Miami the edge and probably 7 games.
The Dallas Mavericks are NBA.
Can't the Thunder win a title?
I didn't get to finish.
With Westbrook as point guard. The American people have spoken, and Stephen A. wins.
The Miami Heat are once again NBA
F's in the chat, man. F's in the chat for Stephen A.
Tim
Smith.
Duncan, Greg Popovich, and the San Antonio Spurs pull it off. I'm picking the San Antonio Spurs to win this series.
Okay.
Back-to-back titles for the Heat. The 2013 NBA championship resides once again in Miami.
Blame you. I'd probably bet my money on the Spurs, but I use the word probably because, Skip, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. When you go up against a great team, it takes a superstar to close the deal, baby. And it is
Kawhi Leonard,
time.
Tim Duncan.
It is apropos. It is perfect timing for LeBron James, King James, to show that he's got some Jordan-esque skills.
And Antonio is back on top once again. The Spurs are the 2014 NBA champions.
I'm going with the Cavs.
The Golden State Warriors are the 2015 NBA champions.
Yep.
It's crazy how many times you can be wrong like that.
To win these finals.
The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Now, it's one thing to be wrong, but being wrong this many times at this big of a stage is just odd. Honestly, I'm not even mad about this. I'm actually borderline impressed at how Stephen A. managed to pull off this incredible feat of inaccuracy. Statistically speaking, you only have a 1.5% chance of getting a 50-50 guess wrong 6 times in a row. The man couldn't do this again even if he was trying. Think about it like this. Everyone watching this video, grab a coin, flip it.
I promised I didn't watch the video, guys. I promise I didn't watch the video. But no, that is pretty much the end of it right here, guys. That's pretty much the end of it. So, yeah, these were absolutely hilarious. Like, I understand it's some of the stuff they just said. I mean, I guess I don't understand. I don't know, man. Anyway, we're on a long video right here, so I'm going to end it right here, guys. Jimmy High Roller made this link to his channel in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.